Motorcycle Men. Time now for Rider Rides with your host, Ted Kettler.
All right, that motorcycle you heard just now comes from Tim O'Haron from Lyndhurst, New Jersey. Tim, welcome to the Motorcycle Men podcast, Rider Rides.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Ted.
Hey, thanks for joining me. So tell me, what bike do you own?
2017 Harley Davidson Road King Special.
Ooh, special. No pun intended. So tell me, why did you choose that bike?
I took the MSF course in spring of 2017 and started off with 2016 48 Sportster.
Nice.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
Awesome bike. Had a lot of fun. Wish I still had it in certain situations, to be honest. However, I had a girlfriend at the time, or still have that girlfriend, should say. But did a lot of two-up riding, and she was not a fan. You know, we would go for about an hour, and I would want to keep riding, and her butt would be hurting pretty bad.
Yeah. But you know, everybody I meet who says they have a Sportster, they go, "I wish I still had that." I know. I say it. I say it all the time. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, there's something, just for solo riding, short rides. I had the 2-in-1 exhaust, fuel pack 3, et cetera, et cetera. It was a great bike. However, like I said, the main purpose of having this bike was so I could go on long trips with me and my girlfriend.
There you
go. We went down to Bergen Harley.
Yeah.
And test rode a Road King. We were trying to test the water, see how it felt, check out what was out there.
Right.
Long story short, we did a test ride and I drove home with my Road King Special the same day.
No kidding. Who is your salesman?
Ralph.
That's funny because Justin, one of my co-hosts, works at Bergen Harley.
Oh yeah, I know him. I do. I'm actually a member of the Hog chapter there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Small
Shout
world.
out to Justin and Ralph and all the Bergen Harley folks up there. Great people.
Excellent. So give us some details about the bike. You know, your tank size, seat height, weight, etc. If you have that.
Sure. Yeah. So 6-gallon tank, which comes out to almost exactly 250 miles. Obviously has a 107. Good. Milwaukee 8, which is amazing. A lot of torque. I never experienced an Evo engine. I went right from the 1200 Sportster to the Milwaukee 8, which is definitely a nice upgrade to say the least. Very strong engine. Has a 6-speed transmission, which is standard for Harley touring models. Obviously, 27-inch seat. It's about the weight, according to online, it's about 820 pounds.
Wow.
All loaded up with a 2-up passenger and so on. Obviously, it's much more than that. I'll say the 27-inch seat height. I'm a 6'1" guy, and it fits me quite comfortably.
Yeah.
I've had friends who are a little shorter who've rode it and said it was a bit much for them, but teach his own.
When you say a bit much, you mean it was a little too tall?
Too tall and just heavy. I mean, they're like sport bike guys, so I think part of it was them. They're just not used to riding, larger motorcycles. But
now, do you feel the weight with that thing? Because it's well over 800 pounds. Do you feel that?
I'll say one of the benefits of actually getting the quote unquote special model is it has an upgraded low profile rear suspension, which actually brings the seat height down from the the standard Road King, and it's not too bad. It's definitely a far cry from a sport bike, but it's once you get used to it, there's nothing that I can't do on that I was able to do on the Sportster.
Do you feel at any point that if you like so while you're standing still, if you leaned a little bit too much one way, it's going to go over?
Absolutely, yes. Especially if you're riding 2-up, you do have to be mindful of the top heaviness.
You're right. So have you made any modifications to the bike?
Yeah, quite a few. I started off, like I said, my main use case, I guess you could say, is long distance riding. So the first thing I did was put on a Memphis Shades windshield tinted black to kind of match the
Nice.
blacked out style of the bike, and then the standard backrest and luggage rack. That's like this Harley standard Harley version of those.
Yeah.
Once I had that fitted out, I waited, and then just this spring I did like a standard stage 1. I put on SVT Bone Shaker slip-ons,
Okay.
which are amazing, great sound. I did a lot of research into it's quite a wormhole of internet information you can get into. Researching different slip-ons or anything like that. But I'll say anyone who's in the market for Harley touring slip-ons, definitely check out the Bone Shakers. It's a smaller company, but I've been very pleased with them.
All right.
Other than that, just the high flow air cleaner, Traska Soul Charge high flow air cleaner, which is a little expensive for an air cleaner, honestly, but it has a see-through thing on the front, which looks great. That I thought was worth the extra money, so I got that, and then a Screaming Eagle street tune as well.
Wow. Now, you did the stage 1 upgrade. Did you notice a performance difference from stock to the stage 1?
Yes, yeah.
It's
pretty. I mean, I'll say like it's nothing huge, and to be honest, like maybe there's a factor of placebo effect in there. Obviously, you spend all this money, you put all the time putting all the parts on it, and you're so excited hoping to feel a huge performance upgrade. I'll admit there's a chance that part of it is placebo, but at the same time I would be shocked if it was all placebo.
Right. Yeah. I got a stage 1 on my bike, and because I didn't buy the bike stock, I wouldn't know the difference.
Okay. Yeah,
so
there's definitely
good.
Yeah, there is some difference for sure.
Right. Now, how many miles are on the... Now, you bought the bike with 0 miles, I guess, aside from your test ride.
Correct.
miles.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think... Yeah, there might have been like 30 miles on it or something like that. But I bought it brand new. Currently, it's has well over 7,000 miles. I think I'm just about to be due for my 7,500 mile oil change, all of which are my miles.
Wow, nice. Now, when did you get this bike exactly?
August of 2017.
So you haven't even had it a year yet.
Nope.
And you've got 7,000 miles on it. That's good riding. That's good. So tell us, what do you like? Well, tell you, first of all, let's say, as far as goes for your riding, what type of riding do you do?
I'll say, like, kind of I mentioned before, that my main use case is mid to long trips, 2-up riding with my girlfriend. So, we'll go out to New Hope, upstate New York, and then we've also done some longer trips as well. But I'll say, yeah.
What's the longest ride you've done?
We went down to Daytona Beach for Biketoberfest.
No kidding. You rode the whole way?
Yep, we left Friday night, got out of work. We were on road late Friday night, got there late Saturday night, just went south down 95 the whole way.
Now, did you do it in 2 parts, or did you do straight through?
Oh, no, we basically just rode until we couldn't ride any further Friday night, stayed at some whatever podunk hotel we could find.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Carolinas, and then finished off the next day.
So how'd the bike perform on the trip? Good?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, no complaints. I will say the one thing, I'm sure most touring guys are well aware of this, but I think it would be nice to have a fairing where you have your GPS system and your comm system and your music all consolidated and hooked up to the main bike electrical system. That's the one thing I think that's like a bit of a challenge. My girlfriend and I, obviously we have a phone GPS, and then we have Cena headsets, but we have one USB charger that we have to kind of like toggle between all 3 of our, devices. So that's a little inconvenient, but other than that, the bike was phenomenal.
Oh, great. What Cena headsets do you use?
The 20S.
Excellent. How was the communication on that?
Great. Yeah, great. It would have been a lot, I think, just more of like a mentally challenging trip to do it without them.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just making sure my girlfriend is comfortable, and just being able to chat and have music and so on definitely made it more enjoyable. I know there's hardcore guys out there that'll say like, no electronics, et cetera, but I don't know. For us, it works.
Yeah.
It works just fine.
Did the windshield provide enough protection for you?
Yeah. That's I I mean, I'll say for the most part, yes. Like it is a lot better compared to not having a windshield, obviously. Though I will say, just another thing that would be a benefit of a full fairing is to have the hand protection as well, because the windshield obviously blocks your chest, but currently my hands are still exposed.
Well, you can get hand guards for your bike. That's available. Through,
that's
a couple companies make them. I think even Memphis Shades doesn't have them. There's another company out there, All American. I think they have them. You can get those. As far as it goes, so the longest ride you did was down to Daytona. And
yes.
So you're doing a lot of 2-up stuff. So what's the one thing you like the most about the bike?
I gotta say the handling and the suspension. Like I said before, honestly, when I first even was like test riding the Road King, I had a lot of reservations coming from the Sportster. I'm sure a lot of people do. It's like, can I handle that big of a bike? Do I really want an 800-pound bike? Is it going to be manageable? Can I handle it turning at low speeds? Mm-hmm. So on and so forth. And I kind of alluded to this earlier, but it's surprisingly not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And the benefits of the way I think actually come into play when you're doing highway riding. It's just way smoother, absorbs potholes no problem. And it rides it's just incredibly comfortable. I guess
do you feel any engine vibration?
Some, but not nearly as much as the Sportster. But there is some, I would say. However, it's drastically reduced.
How about engine heat?
We actually did Rolling Thunder in DC last weekend.
Right, you did.
And I'll say,
wow,
that's the first time I honestly kind of started to feel the engine heat. It's usually not too bad. I think the Milwaukee 8s, they did a good job of like improving the various cooling mechanisms of the engine, but like when we're sitting in that DC heat and like lines of hundreds of bikes just idling for 15 plus minutes, that you kind of feel it.
Now, does this bike have an engine guard on it?
Yes.
All right, you about highway pegs?
Currently no, though, and with the hand guards, that's also on my list. Highway pegs, hand guards, etc.
Now you have floorboards on that for you. What about for passenger?
We just have pegs now, and I discussed with my girlfriend about getting her floorboards, but she says the pegs are comfortable. She has no complaints about the pegs. So,
well, I'll give you a little tip. My last bike, I had pegs, and my wife hated them. So I got this bike that I currently have has floorboards, front and back, and she absolutely loves them. So for a little stability, it gives more stability for the passengers. Something to think about.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I could add it to the list.
The list is getting longer.
Yeah, it's tough. It's funny because we're my girlfriend obviously is kind of rides this bike all the time too, so she has a say in how the upgrades get prioritized. And of course I have my ideas, and she has ideas too, and it's that's all have to basically she wants to optimize for comfort and I want to optimize performance, and we're working on like meeting in the middle, doing like one and one.
Does she have any interest in getting her own license?
She actually just took the MSF course.
Excellent.
Last month. So that's she and we were actually lucky enough to have a family friend who has a 2010 V-Rod that she kind of like loaned to her just to to try out. She's been riding that for a while. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that family friend also has a son who just took the MSF course, so now he is using that bike.
So there's there's going to be another bike in your household then soon, isn't there?
I think next season we might pull the trigger on another one.
Yeah, what is she thinking about?
She likes the Street Bob. She likes the 1200 Sportster. She also likes the Indian Scout. I have a friend who's like a super big Indian guy and has been trying to sell her on the Scout. So I think we're between those three right now.
Excellent.
I'm pulling for the Street Bob personally, but
Street Bob's a nice
another
bike.
story.
That's a nice bike. All right, so the Road King Special is available in vivid black and olive gold, denim, gray denim, and the hot rod red flake. Now, what color did you get yours in?
Got the olive gold.
The olive gold. It's actually green. We'll call it green.
Yeah, that's green. I it's like if I'm pointing it out in a parking lot or something like that, I never say, "Oh, that's my bike over there." The olive gold one.
Because
I
no
always
one
just say
knows
green.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Olive gold. So tell us, why should somebody get this bike?
I would say to me, what sold me on the bike, and I still, after having ridden it for a little over 7,000 miles, I think the fundamental reason to get this bike is if you're looking for all the standard functional benefits that come with a full-size touring Harley, or any bagger for that matter, but you're not ready to commit to having that full-scale old man bike stigma. I think this is a great middle ground, especially with the special series. It's a little bit sporty, it has the stretched out bags. It just looks generally, it has a more aggressive style to it, I guess.
Right.
But at the same time, you have your touring suspension, you have your saddlebags, et cetera, et cetera.
Excellent. What's your next big ride?
My next big ride is Americade. We're doing
really?
that next weekend. Yep.
Wow, yeah, I was originally supposed to be going to that, but things changed. Won't be going, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I know how that goes. Yeah.
It's a great time. It really is a good time. I highly recommend you make it down to where all the test rides are. They have a crap load of them. Harley is going to be your easiest company to get rides with.
Okay.
Yeah, the other ones, they're going to take you out in groups, whereas the Harley dealer just basically, the Harley section just basically, you go down here and want to go for a ride, and they say, okay, there you go, and go. Off you go. But excellent time you're going to have there, guarantee it. All right, one last question before I kick you off my phone. Do you have a biker nickname?
I do not.
Uh-oh. Well.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, man.
Well, I'll leave it to somebody else to come up with a name for you. But I want to thank you very much for joining me here on Rider Rides at the Motorcycle Men Podcast. Tim O'Haron from Lyndhurst, New Jersey, with a 2017 Harley Davidson Road King Special. Tim, thank you very much for joining me here on Motorcycle Men Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. Take care.
If you'd like to be featured with your bike on Rider Rides, here's what you do. Go to the Motorcycle Men website at www.motorcyclemen.us. Go to the episodes page and fill out the form and submit. If selected, all you have to do is provide us with a soundbite of your bike, and you'll get a one-on-one interview with your host. Thanks for listening, and keep on riding.